Well, it is that time again, everybody. Hope you are doing well. My name is Bird Dog John, and I am back in action.
In those scenarios,
Yep.
it's good to neuralize the cameras. You guys know that best.
Very straightforward. Plug it in, go to the web UI, link the source, walk away. Like super simple. I keep looking over at the chat and I keep seeing you are full of it. Tasty, spicy meat snacks. Covered in flavor. I mean, you can't go wrong. So what's going on? We've got a handful of folks here in the chat, and I really appreciate that. What's up, mate? Hey, Warren, how are you? Appreciate it. Hey, Robbie, how's it going, man? We were just talking about you. What's going on, Tom? Ahoy. How is it going? What's going on, GoWeb? Good to see you again. Thanks for hanging out with us again today. Appreciate that. I feel like I'm in this video more than anyone but John. It's true, NetApp. You are, I'm going to cut this up and put this in the next intro.
What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for coming along for the ride. I am going to check my audio and make sure that everything is good to go. But hey, what's happening? Sorry for the late start. We definitely had a bit of a mess this morning. So let me just listen on my iPad real quick. Oh, that's not good. I know what that is. 1 second. Give me a moment. Everything I touch shocks me. It's amazing. All right, so hopefully that's better. Everything I touch. Yeah, okay. So that was the wireless base, the receiver being plugged into power, and evidently that was causing the high-pitched squeal. Hey, everybody, what's going on? This is indeed Bird Dog John, and it's the Bird Dog Support Show. So now, the image on the teleprompter is nice and bright, but the image inside of StreamYard looks kind of dull. And of course, I turned the TV on after I started the show, and that killed the audio in the intro. And so then I had to rejoin StreamYard. I turned off the TV, I rejoined StreamYard, and then we were getting that loop, so that's what happened there. It's not one thing, it's your mother. All right, so we're going to join the P200 Web UI. And I'm going to turn down my monitor now because I'm wearing a lapel, and so you're probably going to be able to hear that in the actual show. So I turn that off. You guys tell me how it sounds. I'm using the Rode Wireless Go 1 with a X-Vive lav mic. So you guys tell me how it sounds. I'm going to change the exposure on this camera just slightly. That looks a little more level. So I like that. Just change the notch on the desktop just by 1. So it's 2.4. Oh. Oh no. Having slow internet speeds. That's fun. What could that be? I thought we fixed this. I thought I specifically had a Comcast draw go down to address this problem. And here we are with 1 second. It's the connection between StreamYard and the Auburn Hills office. So that's fun. I love this. I love this. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this. Give me a second here. hang on, 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 hang on. That was awesome. That was awesome. That was awesome. Okay, so getting a loop because I had StreamYard open twice, essentially. So we sorted that out. But now I don't have a lack of connection issues, and so magically it's fixed. Okay, so saga continues with Comcast. Here's what the deal is. I called them on Tuesday afternoon, and they arranged to have somebody come out on Wednesday morning between 8 and 11. So I had one of my agents come in early for an 8 o'clock and said, hey, you can leave early, and that would be great if you could come hang out. And so he said, sure, I have some work I can do, and I will just leave a little bit early. Fantastic. Then at 11:07, I called Comcast and said, hey, somebody was supposed to be out to check on our internet problem, and nobody showed up. And the lady said, do you have a ticket number? And I gave her the ticket number, and she said, yep, that's because nobody is scheduled to go out to your place. They never put in a request for an agent to come out. And I was like, that's odd. She gave me a time that the agent would be there. She said, did you get a confirmation email? I said, I sure didn't. She said, yep, nobody was ever scheduled. So she said, let me do that for you now. Somebody will be out this afternoon. I thought, okay, fantastic. So we waited around. I did get a confirmation, text and email, and saying a guy would come out. And he did arrive right at, it said, well, be there between 3:30 and 3:55. And so I arranged for a different agent to be in the office when that was happening. And he said, yeah, I'll be here. That'll be fine. And then I got a text message 10 minutes later saying, I'm here. And it was 2:25. So fantastic. So I let the guy in. He said, yeah, I was reading your ticket. Just sounds like it's just crap, a crap modem. I'm just going to swap it out. And so he did. And we have had stellar internet ever since, until this moment, of course, when it's time to go live. And then, yeah, no, it didn't work. So cool. Love that. And at least it's entertaining, right, Randy? It's always an entertaining moment here on the show. And so I hope that it'll hold out. I have no idea why it's not at this point, but it's certainly not for a lack of trying, because we definitely were doing that. And yeah, good stuff. Okay, so first things first, how does it sound? Because I'm using the X5 lav microphone with a magnetic mount underneath my sweater. And of course, it's not an RE20 EV microphone, broadcast microphone, but we're doing what we can to give some variety. That lav mic is plugged into a wireless Go 1 system, and it's here in my pocket. No, it's right here in my pocket, like the One Ring in Lord of the Rings. So that microphone is plugged in wirelessly, and then it is connected on the other side. Now, the audio looks like it is in sync on YouTube on my iPad. But I went home and watched the audio from the stream on Tuesday, and it was clearly off. So what say you? How bad is it where you are? Am I synced up, or am I not synced up? And we can adjust things as needed. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, it sounds good. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. It sounds good. Okay, well played. Dash, what's going on, Pandorga? Hey, looks fine on Twitch. Fantastic. All right, so if we're having issues on YouTube, let's just plug it here. BirdDogJohn.tv is the place to be. From 11 to 12 at least. And today we started a little late, so I will go a little bit later. But this is a weird day because I oddly don't have any remote sessions, but my day is still booked with several meetings, and this show, of course. So there we go. That is the life of a manager in some regards. You're all in sync. Oh no, you're all synced up on my end. Fantastic. Okay, YouTube's playing along then today. Again, we had internet issues on Tuesday, right? So Actually, the show went off fine, but then when I watched the re-record, it was not great. So, all right. Before we started the show, there was a question that came in. It says, "Hey, I have some questions." Perfect. This is a great place for that. Getting our cameras connected to their endpoints. Okay. Go ahead with your questions about that. LinkedIn is perfect. YouTube is off. Odd. Is Bird Dog John YouTube off, or is the Bird Dog YouTube off? Let me know. Because I have here somebody over on YouTube saying, "Yep, it's all synced up on my end." So maybe restart the app or the website or something like that. Yeah. So feel free to ask your questions about getting cameras linked to their endpoints. Now, ideally, I think in the engineering world, and I'm talking very, I'm assuming a lot here. But when it comes to NDI signals being generated on a camera, I think it's assumed that it's going into an NDI video switcher like vMix or Wirecast or OBS or something like that. It is not assumed that you're going from camera to like Bird Dog Play. All right, so before we go down this path of whatever your question is, I would like to know, hey, Facebook video is in sync as well. Mbop. Is that in sync or is that the other one? I can never remember. I can't. Thankfully, I don't know the difference. All right, so is the the show is already off the rails. So before we start this conversation, just know that I think with encoders, it's kind of assumed that you're going into a video switching program, so you can do something like this. Okay, whoa, what is up with those camera shots? All right, so P4K clearly did a reboot because it's facing my poster. So let's get that realigned and situated correctly. I'm also going to store that preset. Whether or not that does anything, we will find out. Okay, so P4K is now back where it's supposed to be. Hey, everybody. And then what was the other one? Studio 110. This one's clearly off. So let's drive this one into the correct location. You can see my TV's off today. But and there's that RE20. There's the shot of the legendary RE20 that everyone, and by everyone I mean me, loves. And then the P200's good. P120, that's not a camera that's in here. P100. So yeah. Oh, you know why? Because we had a brownout yesterday and all my switches restarted. That's what's going on. I definitely should have restarted the switch again because I'm sure it came up after the DHCP, or I'm sure it came up before the DHCP was ready, which explains probably what the dealio is with this guy. So the P100, my overhead shot, is definitely overexposed. So I'm going to jump into, I can show you this shot by the way. That's a good shot. Hey everybody. I like that a lot. So yes, this shot clearly overexposed. Whoops, I just lost a button on my X key. Cut. Okay, so cut. All right, so let's tone down the overexposure here because I don't need to have that quite that bright. So we'll go over to the web UI and let's say camera control. We're gonna log in. Shh, super secret password. Bird Dog. All right, so we're going to put in our super secret default password on our camera. If you didn't know, now you know. And somehow if you hack my system, well, then you can get into all my cameras. And you can really screw me up for the next show. The gain limit on this is set to 30 for some reason. Why? Yeah, boy. All right, so let's go down. Yeah, somebody's been messing with this or not. The gain should be 0. To start, and then we dial back on our shutter speed. I want it to be at least 1/60 because this shot should be 60 frames. If it, oh, you know what? I don't know if it is or not. Well, anyways, 60 frames there, and then we're going to open the iris all the way up, and that's pretty good. You know, that's a pretty good. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna live with that for now. We'll go with that for the time being. And then back to cam 1. Is anybody else in this boat where you ate way too much Halloween candy yesterday? Because my kids had Halloween candy and I didn't eat theirs. All right, they worked hard for that, so I'm not going to eat their candy. There's no dad tax on that. But I may have bought too much candy at the store, and so there's candy at home. That's now dad's candy, because my wife doesn't eat that much candy, and she doesn't do it to be modest. She just like doesn't enjoy it quite as much as I do, and so there's two like giant bags of candy at home for me. So I ate too much at home, but also the guys here in the office also brought in a bunch of candy, and for some reason, when there's candy in the lobby, then our task is to make no candy in the lobby, and the only way to do that is to eat it. And so that is what was going on most of the day yesterday. What I did notice is that it didn't help with the stressful situations, having a body full of sugar. So I'm going to try to not do that today, and instead, I've been enjoying the delectable zero sugar smoked sausage snack sticks. This one is gone, but they are zero sugar, and these ones are by Tillamook Country Smokehouse. Would recommend. Really good. And when you eat these on a consistent basis, which I do, and then you eat regular snack sticks, you notice the sugar content. But these are great if you're like doing higher protein stuff. 0 carbs, 11 grams of protein. So, giddy up. Pretty great, pretty great. Not low in calories, but not high in sugar. So, would recommend. All right, I'm done monkeying around with cameras here. Let me get back to the chat, see what you guys are up to. And hey, everybody, that's come along for the ride. This is indeed the Bird Dog John support show, where you get, for at least an hour, my undivided attention in the chat. And so we can have a chat about any questions that you might have, live support, what everybody's asking for. It's the flavor of the week. Hopefully, hopefully you have your questions ready. And we do this twice a week. So if you hate putting in tickets in a ticketing system, which, by the way, I have 3 of the best ticketing agents I've ever known working at the desk all week long. And so if you have questions, do not hesitate to send them to help@birddog.tv, where the 3 best agents in the world will handle your tickets. I promise you, we are trying our absolute best to get back to everybody. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to put in a ticket. But if you hate putting in tickets, well, guess what? You have 2 hours a week on Tuesday and Thursday from 11 to 12 that you can talk to me directly. And we can have a little chat about whatever you'd like to talk about. So there you go. There you go. Okay, so somebody put in the chat, hey, are you going to do the Where's Waldo map? So yes, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to share a tab, a Chrome tab, because today we are not operating with a secondary screen, so whoops-a-daisy. I guess that little overview thing didn't work. So today I will put that up on here so that you can, wait, I said do it. There you go. That QR code will work, but also if you, when I go back to full screen, so when I do this little number, then I can get rid of this and do the overlay, which is way bigger and a little bit easier to scan. So yes, I will do the Where's Waldo map today. And there you go. Hey, so we have 3 cameras. 2 are connected in the control app, or the central app. Okay, and just install the 3rd. The central app is showing 2, and we still need passwords to get these live. I hope there's more to that. Also, we have 3 cameras, period. 2 are connected in the central app. We just installed the 3rd, period. The central app is showing 2, and we still need passwords to get them live, period. Okay, so I don't read a question just yet, but I have questions. First question is, what do you mean you need passwords? Are they locked? Like, did somebody change the password and then sell them to you? Or did somebody change the password and then leave your organization, or are now deceased and you don't know what those passwords are? Let me know about that. Sorry, not password, just activation code. What? You need an activation code for what? We do not sell NDI activation codes for our cameras. We are not Sony or Panasonic. when you buy a Bird Dog camera, you get the NDI function as a part of the fee for the price of the camera. So NDI is on. When you plug it in, it should be working, as long as you don't need a firmware update or something like that. Also, what's a good way to get the passwords out? Company. What now? Okay, so hang on. What's a good way to get the passwords? The company is pulling up invoices for the codes, but any other direct way that we could get these cameras authorized? You do not need any passwords to authorize these cameras to function in NDI. These are Bird Dog cameras, right? If they're Bird Dog cameras, you're good to go. You paid the price for the camera, you have NDI enabled. So that should be, you shouldn't be needing any invoices, anything like that. Now, are you talking about Central Pro? Because you need to pay for that and get a code, yes. But I'm not too sure why you would be sending cameras to decoders directly like that. Usually you send like vMix to decoders, and then you manipulate that output like this. So like, this is a vMix output, right? And all my cameras are coming into vMix, but then I could just switch that source real fast. And those cameras switch instantly. If I were to change the NDI decode signal, it would take a lot more time to do that. That's like a raw. So you want to use a video switcher to switch between cameras, and then use that NDI output from the switcher to go to your decoders. And then your decoders would be able to see, truly switch between cameras quickly. What's going on, Terrence? How are you? You are a returning YouTuber at this point. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. So yes, to answer your question here, I think to clear up some confusion, you don't need to enable NDI on a Bird Dog camera. It's already enabled. There is no additional fee for that. Okay, so let's go and show our little map here. Whoops. 2 of you have checked in, so thank you so much for that. Let me get the QR code up there so that you may participate. And I will also, for those of you who are unable to scan, I'll also provide a link on most of the platforms, YouTube and Twitch. Here is a direct link if you want to copy that into your web browser. This is going to take you to a little survey that's going to say, what country are you in? And what's the closest city, major city? If you answer those 2 questions, a pin will appear on my Google map. No, this is, yeah, well, technically it's a Google map, but on my, there we go. Technically it's a Google map, but a pin will appear on the Google form, and we'll be able to see where you're at. So thanks for coming along. All right. Today has been quite the mess so far. Better than before, but we did lose some internet connection earlier, so I was stuttering and carrying on. So I'm glad for that to be hopefully behind me now forever. But only time will tell, of course. Only time will tell. So thanks for all of you who are joining my map. We will come back to that. Here is a bigger QR code that if you're having trouble scanning that small one, this is the same thing, but provided by the one and only Josh Bernstein. So shout out to Mr. Josh, who has enabled a larger QR code on my show. So scan that one. It'll take you to that same survey. And yeah, feel free to come along for the ride. All right, so let's get a little bit more clarity on my friend over here. Sorry, not passwords, just the activation code. So I'd love to hear more about this, about what your experience is with your unboxing experience. If you are thinking that you needed activation codes for the NDI function of the camera, that's a whoopsie on us, because you definitely don't need that, and we should be a lot more clear about what it is that's required for the Bird Dog fleet. When you buy a Bird Dog camera, you get the NDI function. You don't have to pay extra for that. And if somebody sold you that, and that was your impression, who sold you that? Because we need to talk to them too. Make sure that doesn't happen again. So let's fix that for sure. That's something we can fix. What else we got going on here? it has been quite a day. Different microphone situation. So I want to just reiterate. Today I am using a X-Vive Lav mic. It's the Lav 2, I believe it's called. Matter of fact, I could pull that up for us to enjoy, and you guys could see. It's only like $60, so it's not like a super duper expensive type of investment. But the sound quality is pretty good, you know? I think it's pretty good. And so let's just say X-Vive. Also, I'd be interested, does anybody have any experience with other X-Vive products? Because they make guitar pickups, they make in-ear microphone, or in-ear monitor attachments. And I have that actual wireless in-ear monitor system, the U4. I have that. And I haven't really been able to give it a good go because typically I'm behind the soundboard and not on stage. So that's the problem there. Oh wow, this price went up. I did not pay $90 for this microphone. That is for sure's. If I say share this tab instead, yoink. So this is the microphone that I'm currently using. It is smaller than other mics. I would think this microphone, which is from Zoom, is a little bit more accurate in terms of its size. Of course, it's a little bit hard to see that right now because I am using a playlist. So let's go to the overhead shot. Still too small. And I'll put it here on the desk, and then I will make this yoink like this so that you can see. So like it's, you know, it's about half the width of my finger essentially, but this microphone sounds thinner than this one does, I think. I think it just doesn't sound as nice. Now it has a nice sturdy clip that goes on here, so you can like snap that puppy on there. It's like a big, it almost looks like a Lego, you know, Lego man hand, but you can snap that on there. And then this giant windscreen goes on top. And so this, I think, is more like normal size for interview style. And I think for a female voice, this microphone would be adequate. I think it would serve a good purpose with that. This mic seems to have a better lower response range, and maybe that's something we can maybe, did they provide any of that information here? Sometimes there's like a PDF. Tell us what the range is. Frequency response 50, okay. Yeah, 50 hertz, I don't think so. So there is no like PDF here that I can see. Look, there's the U4 in-ear system that I have. I kind of want to try the U2 for guitar because I might have a guitar at home that it would be really fun to be untethered with, but it's a 3mm capsule, which is really good. The LV2 or Lav 2. So maybe I need to like go to their website, right, and find out. Yeah, find out what the dealio is there, but what the actual frequency response, what the real data is, or maybe go to a third-party review. Maybe that would be better. Actually, I think it would be better. So let's sort that out. How many audio channels single NDI stream carry? 2. It does 2 on SDI and, oh crap, am I? Why? Why do we have weak internet again? I'm frozen. You can still hear my audio, evidently. And now the video's back on YouTube. It's pretty spotty. Yeah, okay. It definitely looks like it's been downgraded. And still struggle bussin'. Still struggle bussin'. I love that. Thanks. Whatever is going on, I can get to other websites no problem. I'm navigating Amazon, I'm over, and I like putting in like, did you know MySpace is still a website? So the other day I put in myspace.com and it pulls it up just fine. But in StreamYard it says I have a weak signal. And it clearly looks on YouTube like I have a weak signal. So Hey, yes, okay, I heard. Yes, we aren't getting any live feeds from the cameras quite yet. I see two in Central 2.0. They are listed as cams. Unfortunately, the source view is not showing a live feed. Okay, so when you can see the cameras but you're not getting a feed, usually that's a networking issue, typically meaning that you are not running a single subnet with a 22255 or a WAC24 subnet. And so the cameras are maybe getting IPs that are not within the same range as the computer. We've had an interesting talking networking with people is very interesting because you get folks from like you get like network professionals, and then you get people who have never touched a network ever. And so you have to kind of like thread this weird line of here's generally what the here's generally what we expect. But the other interesting piece about this is that like the networking sophistication in the NDI SDK is also not extremely sophisticated. And so yeah, I use sophistication twice. It is not particularly like robust, I'll put it that way. So we expect some basic things when it comes to NDI network infrastructure, but it definitely isn't like extreme, which people get frustrated about. They get frustrated that like it is very simple networking, single subnet, DHCP enabled. Do not use static networks. Do not use unmanaged switches. Do not try and bridge subnets or VLANs because you're just asking for problems. In NDI infrastructure, the assumption is it's a single network, single VLAN, and all of your NDI sources are on one range. And if you have more than 256 addresses are required for your NDI network, then you're talking about a different configuration altogether. But the average person isn't doing that. And we get people who are like, well, I want to add cameras on one VLAN and then I want to add them in Access Manager, and why are they not? Well, it's like, why are they not doing inter VLAN traffic? Well, that's at the firewall level, first of all, and technically you can do it, but you're definitely navigating outside of NDI networking recommendations. And so you can get mad about it, but there are expectations. And so go ahead and get mad about it, but there's still expectations about what we require with NDI. So parallel physical networks is the way to go. Wow, that's very old school. We used to run parallel networks at like 20 years ago at a school. I don't mind it. It actually works great for isolation, but anyways. So to answer your question here about networks and about we can't see the stream. So the first thing I want you to do is to get a computer that has the same IP range as all of your cameras. So all of your cameras need to say, the first three octets need to be the same. So 192.168.1 dot something, or 192.168.10, or 10.0.0 dot what, okay? So they all need to have that same range. You need to be, and then your computer also needs to have that same range. So add them all to the same network so that they get the first three octets identical. And then add your computer to that network and make sure it gets that. And the DHCP should be issuing these IP addresses on their own. You should not be assigning them statically. If you have to assign them statically because they're getting different addresses, the network you're talking about different networks altogether. So you need to plug them into a network, and they need to naturally get IP addresses all within the same IP range. So again, typical is 192.168.1 dot something, anything between 1 and 256 or 54 technically. So plug them all into the same network. Then open Studio Monitor. Can you see them in Studio Monitor? If you can see them in Studio Monitor, that you will be able to see them in Central. But if you can't see them in Studio Monitor, that means that you're still getting a networking issue. Would it be better to change the IP address of the cameras so that it's on the same Ethernet? No. Do not set static IP addresses. Your network should be issuing the same IP range to all your devices in your NDI network. If it's issuing completely different IP addresses in your network, this is not how NDI is thought of to work. All right? You can do this, but it's way more customization and it takes way more troubleshooting skills. If you're just plugging in cameras and you don't see them in central, they're probably not within the same IP range. So we need to start, okay? To start, let's just go to a network switch that's all on the same network, plug in all your cameras and plug in the computer you want to use. Have them all get IP ranges that are all relatively the same. The last digit, the last octet can be different, but everything else needs to be the same. Okay, so 192.168.1 dot something. Then we probably need to, hey, I just checked the IPs for everything is matching up for the cameras and the computers. Great. Okay, the next thing I want you to check is Studio Monitor. Open Studio Monitor, ndi.tv/tools, right? If you got to download that because every NDI machine that's going to operate in the NDI world needs to have the NDI libraries, which is NDI tools. So go ahead and open Studio Monitor. Inside Studio Monitor, do your cameras appear? Right-click on the NDI logo. When Studio Monitor opens, right-click, and do you see your cameras that you've plugged into your network? If you do, hover over it and click on the camera feed, and that should give us a view of the actual camera itself. Do you get a picture? There are two paths here. If you do, that means that NDI out of the cameras is working just fine, and we've got an issue on the computer. If you don't, we need to go into the camera's web UI and make sure that the encode status is active. Because if it's saying inactive, or if the baseboard says none, the MICU says none, we've got a firmware problem. And so we need to make sure that the baseboard and the NDI chip are talking correctly together in order for them to actually ship out NDI signal. Put digital assets management servers multi-homed on both networks, regular network versus dedicated NDI network. I mean, there are many philosophies in how to do this. I'm trying to give this the easiest, most straightforward one here. That again, this is subjective to my understanding of what's easy, right? Because I've worked with customers all over the place, which, you know, they're all certified up every single wazoo they have, and then there are customers that have never touched an Ethernet cable before until they bought Bird Dog cameras. We cover the gambit here, and we find that we're doing a lot more service for folks who have never done networking before than we are for people who have. So there you go. There you go. Ma'am, this StreamYard thing keeps saying that it's a weak signal. So I'm wondering if it wouldn't be advantageous to... No, because it keeps dropping. So no matter what I'm doing here is not helpful. Hey, thank you so much. Wait, did we fix it? No, we didn't fix it yet, right? You didn't say it's fixed. You're welcome, by all means. I'm glad to assist. And that's what the point of the show is, folks. You're here to ask questions about support stuff. I'm here to answer them live. That's the whole point. People want phone number, or they want to chat, or they want a team session, or they want a remote... No, stop. We're a really small team, and we cover the globe. So I got to do the thing that everyone can tune into if they want to and ask questions. Now, it's not at an opportune time for everybody. I also get that. But we got to do what we can with the resources we have. It would be great to wish for the whole world, but we got to do what we can do here. So I can jump on for twice a week for an hour apiece, offer free support, no questions asked, no need for a what's it called, a service level agreement. None of that. You just tune in, and we can help. It's not fixed. I'm just going to check everything that you just said. Okay, cool. So with HX3, is there any point using full NDI at all? Yes, HX3 is still HX. Blech. Garbage. Sorry, that came out without a filter. Yeah, full NDI. You get a cleaner image, a faster image. It requires more bandwidth, but that's about it in terms of it being, you know, if you can afford the bandwidth, then why wouldn't you use full NDI? HX3 is okay, but it's still HX. It's still not great. Hey, what mic are you using today? Today we're using an X-Vive Lav 2 plugged into a wireless Go Rode microphone. And it says I purchased it twice, but I actually only purchased it once. And Yeah, it is what it is. I'm using. Wait, why isn't that showing? I just shared this. For crying out loud, I'm looking on YouTube and it's showing in. Oh, you know why? Because I got low bandwidth. I don't know why it's not showing on the stream. That's crazy to me that it's not working. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with this thing. StreamYard is struggle busing, and it's not for a lack of internet, because I can run a speed test on this network and it works just fine. I'm getting the proper data. I can even load myspace.com. Oh, you know what? Now we're struggling to pull up the speed test. That's fascinating. Ugh, how annoying. How annoying. Does this work? Does this is the oh man. That's the heat map. Even that doesn't work. That's a problem. Yeah, StreamYard is having trouble today. So let's try to log into StreamYard again. That was easy. I'm going to enter the studio. I'm going to mute this microphone. And then I'm going to join. Yeah, sorry about that. So that happens anytime I rejoin the stream. So now I have like full stream, full signal. And does if I share my heat map, does it come through here? Yeah, it shows again. This is so weird. I hate this. Hey, what mic today? Sorry, I don't love it. I'm sorry. So you don't love it the way that it sounds today? Or you've tried it and you don't like it, period? I missed the original podcast mic that you had. Represented your voice so well. That was pretty neat.
That's pretty neat.
It is pretty neat. And don't worry, it's still here. I wanted to give this one a couple of shows to see how, people like the non-obstructed look. I don't particularly care for it. I would rather have the RE20. And not to worry, because RE20 is still here. And maybe now that we're coming up on the 12 o'clock hour, maybe we'll switch over just to give you that, I don't know, what is it? It's like it's not really like ASMR, but it is kind of. But we can switch over to that microphone. Let's see what we can do here. It's almost 12 o'clock, so let's. Okay, so here's the RE20. Let's see what that sounds like on the show. It says that it's going out on the. How much different do you think it is? We can switch between the two. I wish in vMix there was a way to put audio channels together so you could just quickly have a customized panel so I could toggle between the two sounds. But it's definitely a different microphone, that's for sure. What about this sound? Now this is back to the X5. So let's see what I sound like. Wait, am I? Okay. No, this is back to the X5. Hang on, this is the X5. Wait, am I? Yeah, this is the X5 now. Yeah, funny stuff. Sorry, I thought I was dropping the audio. So X5 is this one, and then here is the RE20, which is this guy. So let me know what you think. It's hard to tell when the levels are so different. They're actually pretty close inside vMix, so blame vMix for that. Let's see. Okay. No, I mean, the levels are actually, they are pretty close according to, so this one needs to be like this. Okay, so, but again, I really want a toggle button. That's all I have to do to get this thing to switch over. All right, so this is the X Vive, which Jeremy does not like. Okay, so these are the same levels. X Vive is now set to the same level. And then this is the EV RA20. Both levels are pretty much identical at this point. Man, there you can definitely tell the difference in the range, that's for sure. So there you go. But anyways, so now I can maybe explain the little magnet mount. Here, let me grab this so that we can show this little magnet mount. So one of the reasons was because last week I bought this little magnet mount that goes with this guy. It doesn't go with this guy, but I'm putting it with this guy. But it's pretty good. I use it on my undershirt, and I can hide the microphone underneath my sweater. But it just looks like this, essentially. So this is that little cover from the Ursa cover, which is just like a little piece of fur, essentially. And then I had a piece of gaffer's tape on the back of that. There is the actual, let me put out here, there's the actual X Vive microphone capsule. And then that magnet mount, which is great for a lot of different lav sizes, like cable sizes, with the exception of the X Vive. Just a simple magnet, which has this like plastic. And I was like, that's weird. What's that for? It just makes it like easier to manipulate and use. And then just this silicone actual mount that has, let me move this out here. It's this silicone mount basically that you just thread the wire through. Now for the Zoom microphone, which I like less than the X Vive, it works great for the Zoom microphone because the cable's thick enough. And on the website on Amazon, it says like for virtually any size cable. And then the first cable I used was too small. So they could have made the grips a little bit smaller, but I definitely think that this was a good investment for lav mics. And the solution with the X Vive was just to wrap a little piece of gaffer's tape around where I'm attaching the microphone to the mount. And then that works great. And then I just thread this piece through here. And there, it's easy peasy. Works really well. And just feed it down through your shirt and plug it in to your receiver, which in this case is actually a transmitter. It's the Rode Wireless Go unit. I think the X Vive Lav 2 microphone is comparable to the Rode onboard microphones for this. And so, you know, you see these all the time where people have these things clipped onto their shirts or whatever. And even more so, they have what I really hate about the YouTubers and the social media influencers and all that crap. What I hate about the way they do their stuff is they have a couple of these. They have the Rode Wireless Go 2 or the DJI ones, and they have the little windscreens on them, and then they clip those on somebody's like lightly colored shirt. And it looks absolutely ridiculous because you have this giant, you know, you can't really see it because I'm wearing a black shirt here, but they have this giant fuzzball of a windscreen that is then plugged into this thing. And then it's like up against their skin or something. And I have this like small animal hanging around capturing their audio. And so it would be better if they would clip this onto something and then like, again, like put it down their shirt, something like that. And then at least they have a natural windscreen and it doesn't look obtrusive. And the little, you know, especially if they're, but anyways, a lot of people don't have this option and they're just wanting to do like quick man on the street surveys. And so they're just like, oh, here, just clip this on. But they put this could be a lot smaller, Rode. Like, seriously, guys, this thing could be a lot smaller and be just as effective. But it's this massive thing that kind of like flimsy clips on there. You know, it kind of works okay, but it pops off really easy. I'm not thrilled with it, especially like real world applications.
It definitely has, like, remember what those treasure troll things used to be where you had the hairdo that you could manipulate? That's what that looks like to me. And meh, I'm just not like super thrilled. Now, the microphone on board this thing is surprisingly good. It's not amazing. It's certainly no broadcast level microphone, but if it's just, again, man on the street stuff, yeah, you can get away with it. Get away with using it as a legit means to capturing audio. But you do need to figure out how to put this on a person. So it, and to be fair, Terrence is right. Okay, the fuzzball, it works great outside. It absolutely does work great outside. It looks it's a huge distraction, I find. So when people are being interviewed, I notice the microphone and the giant fuzzy thing on their shirt. I'm like, ooh, like it's distracting to the point. And the point of capturing audio is for the content to be the point of why you're showing something, not for the things that are capturing the content to be noticeable. You know what I mean? So that's the round and round way of thinking about it. The X5 sounded muffled. Well, it was under my shirt, so clip that lav to your hoodie string. Maybe it's too muffled under the clothing. It sounds like it's under your sweater. Yeah, definitely. Proximity effect. So this microphone rejects the proximity effect. That's the difference between this and the SM7B. The SM7B is the classic podcast mic, and it makes it sound like you're all up in somebody's head like that. This microphone actually has active rejection of the proximity effect, and so that's actually why I bought it, because my voice would play into the proximity effect, whereas this microphone, which I think captures my voice most naturally, rejects the proxy effect. So there you go. In StreamYard, do you have auto level set up? No, I have turned all of that crap off because it is precisely that crap. RE20 all the way. What's going on, Juan? I agree with you. Mic fun on stream. There it is, mic fun on stream. Maybe the lav on left and RE20 on the right. RE20 sounds much fuller. Yes, it definitely should, because it's like 3 times the price of any of this other gear that's on the table. Price is not always the reason, but definitely this microphone for sure. The 20 is clearer. Speaking of networking white belts, your support yesterday was a huge push I needed to get things going. Is this Eric? Let's see. Oh, you know what? I may not be able to tell on here. Hang on one second. You are live. Where are we here? John Bird Dog User Group. And in the user group, it's Eric. Hey, what's going on, Eric? I'm glad to hear that. Wait. What on earth? Let me close this down. I'm not too sure why that opened. I'm glad to hear that things are now moving in a positive direction for you. So that's great. Louder is always sounds better. No, that's not true. It's hard to tell. The levels are different. Okay, I think we've caught up now. Squirrel. Yeah, I got distracted. Sorry. Boom mic appears to be closer and on axis than the X Vive. It's a Vive. Sorry, VIVE X Vive, which would account for the volume difference doubling. The distance is 6 dB down unless you're running a limiter to keep levels at level. Well, there's nothing wrong with a decent compressor plug-in on dialogue audio input. It's true. Still need a ton to convince your team to get you a COS 11D lav. COS 11D. Oh, it's a Sanken? Let's find out. Hopefully this doesn't all of a sudden kill the stream. Man, websites, maybe it's this computer that needs to be restarted, because it hasn't since our brownout, and there's a good chance that switch needs to be reboot to get all the gremlins out since that all happened. What's going on, Eric? Welcome to the show. I think you'd like the full sound of that one. Just make sure you have a fast attack on the compressor. Yes. Let's see if we can pull up. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. I would like to find out what this thing sounds like. However, I'm pretty sure I won't be able to convince them to pay $600 to get a microphone by Christmas, even. Look at that shipment time. That's crazy talk. Good stuff, though. Oh, and this is, I need to get a little different connection. Let's see, where are we at? Excuse me. Because I need the 3.5 for my rig. XLR. Well, anyways, XLR. What's the deal here? Why are these all... This is the same mic, but is it like a package deal? What's the difference here? Why is it a pigtail stripped cable? Oh, wow. You put your own on the end of that? Without accessories, black with pigtails. Are there any photos of like what they mean by that? There are no reviews. Well, that's always shady. Okay, cool. Well, there you go. All right, back to our heat map here momentarily, folks. If you would like, we are going to throw the little QR code here up on the screen. It's just a little 2-question survey. It says, what country are you in? What city are you closest to? And, oh, look, I'm having connection issues again with StreamYard. It seems that maybe like that happens when I put the screen share thing up. So I'm going to stop that. See if, oh, yep. Dropping for sure. Dropping in quality, dropping for crying out loud. Why? I hate this. I'm not really having issues, but yeah, you terminate the connections that you need with the pigtails. Got it. I'm really annoyed that this is happening with StreamYard. It seems to be StreamYard exclusive because, well, it does and it doesn't. But I can get to other websites, no issue. But I keep losing quality on the actual stream. So we're gonna troubleshoot this a little bit. I'm gonna have to restart everything afterwards after the show. I'm not doing anything different than I normally do, but it definitely looks terrible on YouTube right now. And apparently that's the 1080 stream. I haven't been particularly happy with the 1080 stream, you know, on the post record. It seems like it's going to StreamYard fine, but them sending it over at 1080p does not seem to be super clear. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. So, geez, yeah, this is struggle busting for sure. Not a fan. Not a fan. All right, well, we'll figure out a different way to show this screen. But feel free to fill out that little QR code, and yeah, we can go from there. Hey, what's the best way to see if there's a LAN device leeching your internet connection? Well, the easiest way to do that would be to look at the activity from the router level, right? Because, or the, whatever's governing your WAN, whatever that interface is. So if you have a gateway or something like that, you'd be able to see kind of who's connected and how much data they're pulling down. I know that depending on the system you have, it's a dime a dozen. I don't know if there's like a command you can run. I'm not that familiar, but probably Windows update running while streaming. Touche, it might be. I told it not to do that, but who knows? Oh, what is this? Look, I have something on Windows security. There's like an error. Maybe it's that. This is Windows 11, which I haven't been super thrilled with so far, other than I don't detect any major problems with it, but I just haven't had great performance with it. And in Task Manager, everything's screwed up. I'm not getting accurate readouts for that. If you're using Chrome with StreamYard, Chrome has its own Task Manager in the menu, and it shows you what's going on in your browser. That's fascinating. I think I know this, but There it is, Task Manager. Ooh, there's even a performance tab. That's fun. Chrome does have its own little task manager, doesn't it? All right, so let's sort by CPU usage. It claims that 4% of the CPU is being used for StreamYard. I find that highly unlikely because Chrome is a beast. Yeah, this can't be right. I don't trust that at all. I really don't. But when we have a streaming error, we will check that out. Hey, it's great. I gotta jump. I gotta run. I have an organization I just pitched a 3-cam keyboard setup to. Haven't heard yet if they're going to do it. Well, keep us posted, man. Always interested to know about that. So that'd be great. It's a P240 set. Great. I love those cameras. The image is definitely better than the P200, and I'm not saying that just because I'm trying to push new cameras, because we have lots of P200s that we want to sell. But if you are in the market for cameras and you're choosing between P240 and P200 and money is no object, well, then the 240 is a better image. I can confirm. I don't have a 240 in here, though, so that's a problem. But anyways, enjoy that. It's good stuff. Nice. Terrence likes that. Alrighty. I'm trying to think if there's anything major that I needed to cover with you. I just realized inside. Wait, what? Oh. I think I just figured something out here. I think I know what's going on. My companion just told me, unknowingly, that my network card is self-assigned. So I'm going to restart Companion and see if that's still the truth. Interesting. Oh. It's not self-assigned now, but it's definitely something different. Interesting. So potentially have some network problems, some gremlins that I need to iron out here. See you later, Jeremy. Always a pleasure, man. Thanks for coming by. And please come back as soon as you can. And I will use my RE20 from here on in. For this show, at least. Maybe not for like recording demos, but for this show. Just for you. I'm so glad that everybody feels the same way I do about this microphone because I do love it. All right, so my toggle audio was set to my Rode Wireless Go rig. So I'm going to change that now back to this microphone. So now when I mute it, be muted when I do that. Let's have a listen to that. It was definitely muted, so good news. That's working. And the feedback is also working on there. So one of the things that I do here with my X keys, let's get this stuff out of the way now. One of the things that I do here with my X keys is I use Companion to send me toggle feedback. So when I mute it, the light turns blue. So red is dead. I'm a gun owner, so red is dead is the general with the safety. So red is on, essentially, for me in this rig. Now, you could choose to do that however you'd like, but red is on and blue is muted. Be muted when it is blue, which I believe. Now, I'm also not listening to this microphone through my ear, so I have my iPad running on low, and I can hear my voice mumbling in the background on the iPad. But that is the way that I do that. And it provides me with some like live feedback when I'm switching things around. So here, boy, this button needs to... Here, for example, my P200 is in preview in vMix. And so when it's in preview, the blue light is on. And when it's in program, the red light is on. Okay, so preview and program. And then if I load a different one, so now P200 is in preview and the overhead camera is in... which is program 4. And if I say cut, then it cuts between the two. I can even fade between them, and there's some feedback there. So when I click on the fade button, it lights up blue. If I click on the cut button, it lights up blue. Is this busted? Is that what this is? Because this button does not want to stay on. Like stick it down real good, but it tends to just pop right off. It popped right off again. So that's a shame. Anyway, whatevs. We'll have to figure that out one day. But the buttons do seem to pop off of this X Keys. Now, the X Keys is like 7 years old and still working like it did the day out of the box. So Bravo X Keys, which is a Michigan company, I found out. Pi Engineering is a company here in the great state of Michigan. They're over in like middle of the state as far as I can tell. Pi Engineering, X Keys, Google Maps. Let's just Google this. My internet is working again, so this should work. Pi Engineering, a map to Pi Engineering. Driving, walking, and hang gliding directions to Pi Engineering. These guys are hilarious. Let's view on a larger map. Is it going to take me to Google Maps? It sure is. Okay, so they actually have their home address, their office address listed in Google Maps. So it's 101 Innovation Parkway in Williamston, Michigan. And we could do a street view here, and then I could share that with you. So I'm going to drop a pin on Pi Engineering. Street view. And then we're going to try and kill the... so this is their building, evidently. Oh, and they even have a sign out front that says Pi Engineering. So let's present, share screen, boom, share. Okay, so this is their office. Pi Engineering is right there. And it is on Innovation Parkway, which is that road right there. 101 Innovation Parkway. And if we were to do directions to such a place... Oh, look, you can see that on the stream. That's so nice. Pi Engineering, and our address is also publicized now because people ship us stuff all the time. So 2901 is the work address. Here in Auburn Hills, we are an hour and 20 minutes away. Have to hit up, this is what is lovingly referred to as 59, and it goes across through Highland Charter Township, Howell, Michigan, and then up through Fowlerville and so on. But they're over near Lansing, which is cool. They're more central than we are, that's for sure. But in the state of Michigan, there they are. We're over here kind of north of Detroit. So all good, but we're an hour and 20 minutes. Hour and 16 if you cut straight across the state. But if you go up 75 and then down through 69, it's only like an extra 5 minutes, which is bizarre to me that that's the world we live in. But there you go. So good stuff. Good stuff. See, you came here. You don't know what you're going to find out when you come to this show. And that I can guarantee you. Question for any of you vMix users out there that I know there are some of you, but you may not have an answer. The when I run a playlist, right? So right now I've just turned the playlist on. And when the playlist runs, what I would really like to see is the next camera in the preview window. But what I get is the previous camera is in the preview window, right? So it moves over afterwards. But when I click playlist, what I want is next camera coming up to be in preview and then to move over. And then the next camera in the playlist to be there. Is there a way to automate that so that when a playlist is running, it shows the next camera in the playlist? And it references the playlist in that way. You know what I mean? Like I kind of want it like as if a producer is running the show. So the next camera is going to be the P110, which is going to be number 2, camera 2. And so I want that to be in preview. And then when the playlist switches it over, the next camera on the list is back to my P200. So I want that in preview. And I want it to reference it that way. I wonder if there's a way to automate it so that we could do that. And I'm going to leave the playlist running, but then I'm going to go to, maybe it's like a script that I have to run. But I mean, technically this is right now, the way that vMix looks, that the my P200 is in the preview, but it was because it was the camera before, not the next camera. You know what I mean? So I would love if like a routine, like if this, then that. So if the playlist is on, then put in the preview window the next camera after the current camera, So now look, the playlist switch back and the P110 is in the preview. And what I would want it to be is the P4K, because that's the next shot that's coming up. So anybody have any ideas about that? I wonder if this is a question for the great Tom Sinclair, who I haven't spoken to in like a couple of months. So I hope he's doing well. I know he's been busy, and his show is still going on. So he's still around, but I haven't talked to him recently. We'll take another quick look at the heat map while the internet's working. This is from that QR code that I put up earlier, that if you scan the QR code, you can get asked a 2-question survey, which basically says, what city and what country are you in? If you answer those 2 questions, your little pin will appear on the heat map. It's always fun to see where everybody's checking in from. So good stuff, good stuff. Thanks for coming along and playing the game, folks. I can leave. Actually, let's do this, and I'll put up the overlay, because that's a good overlay to have up. So the crowd went mild with that question that I had about vMix. So I'm going to try and navigate this myself and find out if there's a way to automate this. I'm sure that it's probably a script that has to be run. So, but I'm not too sure what the way to do this is, because there's not an option in playlist, right, to do this. So you would think that there might be a way to, when the playlist is running, maybe there's a way in Companion, because Companion could probably, like when I hit playlist start, then I could add a step. However, it doesn't actually read the playlist. It just plays the playlist. Interesting, however, that there may be add a press action. So here I am going to vMix playlist functions. Done. So when yeah, there's got to be a way, man. Next item in playlist. Yeah, there's got to be a way. Because this is even the all-camera shot, right? So I think you'll have to write your own script to do its own playlist if you want that functionality. Basically, when I start the playlist, I need the preview to also run in a playlist one step ahead. That's essentially what I need. So yeah, it sounds like something custom I'd have to write myself, more than likely. I think you're right, Terrence, but there's that. Just see what's going on here. Sorry, I just had a phone call. It is what day is this? Thursday? Yeah, okay. Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to November. This came in like crazy. Thanksgiving, or I'm sorry, on Halloween. Oh, I didn't even realize this. So I went out trick-or-treating with my kids, and that was a lot of fun. We did that on Thursday, or on Tuesday. They were very excited, and we had a chance to enjoy the weather We can throw this in here and you guys can see. So here we are, off on our adventure as the family of dragons. And so these are my two kiddos. And there I am in all my wonder and glory. This was post-snow, but it was kind of snowing when we took this picture. And then, uh-oh, and now I'm losing. That's hilarious. I'm going to drop this. Whoa, it definitely is that. As soon as I killed the screen share, did you guys see that photo? Dang it. Hang on, let me back up here. I put that up there. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so you saw it. Yeah, so when I killed the screen share, then StreamYard was like, okay, we're good again. So, interesting. Submit a feature request. It seems like a reasonable ask. But, like, would other people use that? You know what I mean? Like, that seems very particular to me is that in my workflow. I just want to, when I click on playlist, I want like as if I was video switching. Because in this instance, the next camera to come up will be the P4K. And so if I were video switching this show, I'd have it ready right in the preview. And then I would hit cut. And then it would go over to that. But it seems like a reasonable ask, but also like would people use it that way? It's nice that they give us playlists at all, by the way, because there's like a little fruit fly in here. It's nice they give us playlists at all because they're one of the only programs, with Wirecast as the exception, the only programs out there that do that. But I'm not too sure. I feel like it would be only me that would be really using that function. So I would maybe need to just use a script or something to make that happen. Anyways, we did go out trick-or-treating, and that was a whole lot of fun, and those are my two kiddos. And yeah, we rode dragons all night, and we met up with some neighborhood friends that we had made earlier in the summer, late in the summer, but earlier this year. And we trick-or-treated with them, so it was good. But we definitely got snowed on, and we were moving and walking, and we've clearly covered in snow. And so my wife took a photo. I'll share this one too. My wife took this picture, and there I am. My hat covered in snow. This is October 31st in Michigan, folks. Look at that. Look at, there's like legit snow has landed on me and has stayed on me. It didn't melt with my body heat. So that's real deal. That's the real stuff right there. Crazy, crazy stuff. And I can't believe that it snowed that much. And if I stop sharing, boy, that's wild. It's definitely wild that that's what's causing my issue here. But anyway, so yeah, we had fun trick-or-treating, and now it's November, and now the Christmas music and commercials are starting. Today I was watching a YouTube video, and the Christmas music, there was like a Christmas scene, and it definitely, oh, this thing didn't show the picture? Seriously? That's so annoying. Sorry, folks. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, it did show up. So yeah, but the Christmas commercials have started. So out with Halloween and in with Christmas. Here it comes, everybody. Which means that it's probably time for me to switch the playlists over to the more Christmassy themed playlists, right? So I have a set list that is Christmas themed. It's the same type of music, but in a Christmas, with like a Christmas vibe. So if I turn that on, and we have a quick little listen to that. Evidently, this is more Christmassy than the previous stuff. I don't know if I agree. Okay, let's try a different song. Meh. So far not impressed. I don't understand why it sounds the way that it does. None of this sounds Christmassy to me. Maybe this one? All right, I don't mind this one. This one's okay. This is kind of Christmassy. It's like in the spirit of Christmas. It's not really. It's not like Jingle Bells. It's just more like. It's the bells. Bells must mean Christmas. It's true. Sounds like I'm stuck in a department store. Well, let's just all be thankful that it's not Mariah Carey. We can all agree, I think, that that song needs to go away. I don't know anybody who's listening to that song non-ironically at this point. So, sorry, Mariah, you are not the queen of Christmas. Needs more cowbell. Ooh, there's a soundbite I don't have. Hang on, I need to write that down. And there was another one that I wanted to get recently, and now I can't remember what it is. Anyways, I'll remember it. Well, anyways, so there, Christmas music will commence. We need to go to the startup apps, and so we need to say run, and then shell startup, and then in there we're going to remove deleted. We're going to remove that one, and we're going to put in the create shortcut. Also, I really dislike Windows 11, the right-click option where they've condensed down, like, here are some pictures of things that you might want to do. I hate that. Just give me the traditional Windows 10 right-click option. I don't want to see what you think I want to see. I want to see what I have always used for an age. Seriously, some things. Cowbell music. Pahunk or honk or funk. I don't know how you're saying this, but it's good stuff either way. I definitely need to get the more cowbell soundbite though. That's a great idea. More cowbell sound clip or soundboard. There is a great place that has a bunch of like free sound bites that you can just download via MP3. And
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Yeah, okay, got it. So you can download them as MP3s, and then I'm just going to go into Stream Deck. Well, I guess I need to put this in the proper folder, but we can definitely add this. Well, that was very quick. I think it's under sounds is where I keep these items. Yes. And then I need to go to downloads folder. I need to cut. And I need to paste. Yoink. There it is. And then I'm going to go into, the way that I do this is in Stream Deck. I actually just have an audio. We're going to just copy. We're going to paste. And type in the phrase more cowbell. And I'm just going to select that audio clip, which is down here. Is it? More cowbell. And the output should be the cable, I believe. Oh, it's not here. Does this work? Hang on. Certainly this works. What are these ones? Default, default, default. They just say default. Oh, interesting. Have my sound effects not been working?
That's pretty neat.
Or have they? Let's go over to vMix. Because I have a sound effects channel.
How neat is that?
And it does show that it's playing. Also, So this is the soundbite now.
I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Good stuff. Thanks for that. More cowbell is now on the list, everybody. You may thank. Who do I give credit to here? NetHab. I think NetHab gets the honorable mention with that one. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, there was another one. Maybe I wrote it down. Nope. Not there. And not there. I don't know. Now I can't remember. Alrighty. Well, I think that's going to be it, folks. It's 11:38, so we've definitely got the hour covered. Sound effects are working. The inventor of the electronic drum machine, Roger Lynn. Interesting. Myinstance.com. If you're ever looking for sound bites, there are a bajillion on there. Just be sure that you search for something and not just start clicking on the first ones, because there are really, like, people have put ones in here that will like hurt your eardrum, especially if you're listening. And there's ones on here with like a lot of foul language and everything. And so, yeah, be sure you go here and search for something specific. And then it was a Jurassic Park one, wasn't it? Dang it. This is going to drive me crazy now. Was it a Jurassic Park quote? Maybe not. Nuts. I'll think of it. And try and find it. But that would be, this is where I get most of them. And they're just little fun things.
Serenity now!
Maybe it was a Seinfeld one. I have like 3 pages right now of all of these inputs. So different sounds that are perfect for many instances. So My Instance. Is that what it's called? Myinstance.com. Yeah. Yep. Good stuff. All right. Let's take one final look at the heat map, because allegedly this is what's killing my StreamYard stream. I'm not really sure why, but we will throw this up here one more time. Hopefully it will show real briefly. And let's see what we can do. Let's watch it over on the YouTubes and see if it actually loads. It shows it instantly on my screen, but then it shows it churning. I don't understand what the deal is with that. Yep, and now my internet connection is super weak. I don't know what is going on. All right, let me think of a different way to do this, because that's really annoying. So I'm going to say outputs. I'm going to say change this desktop output to NDI stream output, which is just going to be screen capture. I'm sorry. There's an idea. Let's just cycle through these real quick. NDI desktop capture. Is screen capture working? It is, but apparently I need to restart it. That's interesting. And there's no way to... There's got to be a way to capture like a browser, right? Like a window that's open? What do you think? Where is that? Can I do that somehow? I know there's a web browser thing here, but well... Oh, maybe that's what I do. Okay, so let's see. Can I... This chart is published as... Publish chart 2 as a web page. Publish. Oh, wait, cancel. I want this to be... as a web page. Yes. Yeah, okay. Can I copy? If I load this into, see, the hesitancy that I have is the last time I tried to do something like this, it was, say, okay, giggity goo. The hesitancy that I had was that the web page wouldn't refresh. So I'm not too sure. Oh, and now it's not loading. Fantastic. So not too sure why that won't do it either. Is it because bummer. I can embed the iframe. Not too sure why it won't let me. Oh, it is sharing it, but it's shared wrong. Ugh, bummer. Yeah, okay. So that's not going to work. Yuck. Why, if I add it to the show, does it not want to show it? I feel like it's just a secondary source. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. But it just churns and churns. It kills my connection speed. And then as soon as I remove it, everything comes back. Oh, wait, there it was. Did it work? Okay, if I put it back. Well, this is supposed to be super convenient. Why not? The question is there a delay between your screen and StreamYard mix? Then StreamYard is probably lame. Why not just use vMix? Well, the question is, how do I bring this browser window into vMix? That was the question. Because, yeah, it's not even loading. I don't understand why it's not loading. It's just a screen share. That's all it is. But it is killing my network connection. As soon as I stop sharing, then my connection goes back to being quick. Well, that's not true. It didn't actually do that this time. Oh, wait, I got to actually kill the... Yeah, if I stop sharing entirely, then it goes. vMix can do URL sources. Well, yeah, except I am... If I share it, I wonder... Yeah, okay. So if we go vMix, input... Nope. Come on, vMix. If I double click, it should highlight the whole thing. Not. Okay. Go. What comes up here? Oh, you need to sign in to Google. That's what it says. Cool. So I knew that wasn't going to work, but I was hopeful. Then if I do copy chart, what if I do this one? Oh, this is the one I just did. What if I do... Because these are the... A PDF document? Publish? What good is that? That's not going to help me too much. Okay, back here, change source, change the URL, say okay. Now what do we get? We get nothing. Whole lot of nothing. Okay, so it can't be PDF. It has to be a web page. Published content and settings. Okay, so copy this. I think we've gone down this road before once, where I tried to do this and found out that there were really no good ways of doing this. Say okay. It just, the web page it loads is not the what I want to show. It just the bummer is that in StreamYard I can add the image as a source with a screenshot. That's not quite the same thing as showing the live data, right? I wonder if it has something to do with me trying to do vMix, StreamYard, and screen sharing all on the same machine. I suspect it might. So if I do this, so the question I guess is like, okay, let's share that screen again and then look at the, right? Because somebody had said you can look at the task manager and see what resources are being used. So if we say task manager, what are you guys seeing? All right, so that's shared. Why did that share this time? You know, like, so confusing. All right, so task manager, sorting by CPU. All right, sorting by memory. So GPU process is apparently really high. There's really nothing in here that should be like just killing this right now, but it definitely is. Well, hey, everybody. Well, this is the heat map I've been trying so hard to show you of where everybody's checking in today. And it's always a pleasure to have you guys along for the show. So thank you for participating. Always fun. Always fun to try and figure out how to make this this work a little bit better. But, you know, has its pros and cons. I've used various streaming services in the past. And StreamYard, I like it for the most part. There are always things that can make it better. But for the price we pay, it's not too bad. And, yeah, kind of get along that way. All right. Well, let me pitch this one last time. If you are in the, yoink, if you guys are in the need of any sort of help with your Bird Dog products, please feel free to reach out to us over at help@birddog.tv. I've got 3 great agents who watch for those tickets and help coordinate assistance around the world. And so don't hesitate to reach out to us and ask us for help if you need it. Or you may come here twice a week on Tuesday, Thursdays for at least an hour right here at birddogjohn.tv. And if you wouldn't mind, go on over to that site and just hit that subscribe button. You don't have to hit the bell. You don't have to do anything else. Hit that subscribe button. It always is super helpful to show people that show my bosses, but show others that, you know, there's an interest in the NDI world, and super helpful to have you guys following along. So if you haven't done that yet, feel free to do that. That is open as an option for you to stay tuned to whatever it is that we're up to in the studio. And anything that I produce gets put on birddogjohn.tv. So it's a good place to be if you are interested in finding out more information about Bird Dog. Of course, as things get announced or new firmwares or whatever, we discuss all of those items. So this is a good place to find out that info. But in the meantime, I hope that you're doing well. I hope the end of the week is coming up quickly. I'm doing a little bit of traveling this weekend, and I'll be back in town on Sunday night. And so pray for safe travels, because I'm definitely going to need that, and hopefully no foul weather on its way. But always good to kind of get out and do something a little bit different, and that is definitely what is going to happen this week, so this weekend. But just a couple more days left, and then we're headed into an exciting weekend it'll be busy, but it'll be exciting. And then we're into November, and that is underway. So hopefully your end of the year plans are coming to fruition. And if we can be of assistance at all, please let us know. We're always happy to give you a hand over at help@birddog.tv or right here on birddogjohn.tv. Be well, take care of yourselves, and of course, take care of each other. It's super important, and especially as the end of the year approaches, we'll kind of watch out for each other and make the best of it. So looking forward to being with you again. Be right back here on Tuesday from 11 to 12. Next week is the plan, barring no unforeseen changes to that, but 11 to 12 right here on birddogjohn.tv. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.
magic word.
I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly?